am South Métis from the Lower Similkameen in the Okanagan Valley, in the province now known as British Columbia, on the west coast of Canada. I am honored to have been involved with the Feast Center right from the inception. I've been part of the meetings and the planning, and now this launch. I am excited by the potential we have to create a method of weaving Indigenous knowledges with the ways and knowings of science and academia. By combining these two ways in viewing social science, epidemiology, clinical science, and basic science, we will indeed weave a blanket of knowledge that Indigenous students can be wrapped in. It will become the future for learning. All my relations. Creator, grandmothers and grandfathers, spirits of the four directions, Lem Lem, Kulchuten. Lem Lem, thank you for my life. I want to invite the ancestors of this territory, the Saquamic people, to this work that we're having. I want to invite all of the ancestors of all the territories that all of the people who are watching are sitting on. I call upon the ancestors across Turtle Island here to be present. The ancestors of the territories and the ancestors of each of the individuals who has come here with their hearts and their minds connected into this work, into the future education for our students, our learners, our researchers, into future wellness. Grandmothers and grandfathers, support our young people. Grandmothers and grandfathers, please support our elders and support all of our learners and our scientists and our experts in the field. I welcome you here. I ask that you be present with all of us. All my relations.
Masabi, Indigenous, Hmong, and Dodom. So Sabi is my spirit name. Loon is my clan. I work. I'm self-employed. I work around the community of Kettle Point and Stony Point. The feast dish that we're going to make today is to acknowledge all the hard work that's gone into the Feast Center for the past 20 years. Acknowledging all of those people that have put their energy into there, and also all of our ancestors that have walked with them to help them get through all of this and to get us where we're at now and to lead us into the future. Even before our feast happens, we can when we start to think about that, or start to cook the food, start to prepare the foods, the spirit is there, and he looks down and he sees us doing that work, starting to make the food, and he says, look, there's my son, there's my grandson. He still remembers us, he still loves us. He's preparing that food for us and that tobacco. He's going to feast us. With our feast, we usually try to incorporate our four sacred foods: corn, berries, wild meat, and wild rice. We try to incorporate at least those four foods. It's the love. It's the love that goes into the food. That's how we feed the spirit when what the foods that we make, the tobacco and the food, when we're offering that down. Asama Napagnada Da Odapanad. I'm offering this tobacco to be picked up by the Spirit. I'm offering this food to be picked up by the Spirit. It's not that the Spirit might do it, but the Spirit will always answer. Will always answer those things. Will always accept that food. When we have our feast, we put our feast on the ground. It's not up on tables. Our food all comes from Mother Earth. That's why it's down on the ground in that level. Once the feast is prepared, then we're going to bring it all together. We're going to smudge it all, prepare it, clean it all once again. Have a cleansing for that. We're going to gather up a little bit from each and every dish and put it on a plate. It's a plate for the Spirit. Take a little bit of tobacco and talk for that. Give Him thanks for all of those foods. And then offer that to the Spirit, whatever it is, whatever the Spirit is that we're feasting. We always want to acknowledge and give thanks for everything that we've received. Whether it doesn't have to be in troubled times, but also for those really, really good things that happen in life. We want to always give thanks for everything, so that a good life continues for us. It's a minimal mods when that good life. So we always want that for all the people, for all the spirits, for everything. 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, so 7 generations back. It's 252 different spirits, people that make us up. So when we remember those in the past, we can also then look into the future. We're not lost then when we remember everybody. So if we forget who we are, if we forget all of those people and don't remember them, we will be lost.
Thank you, Elder Sheila Nyman from British Columbia, for your knowledge and for helping us start in a good way. And thank you, Knowledge Keepers, Mike Henry from Kettle and Stony Point First Nation, Ontario, for sharing the teaching of the Spirit Plate. As the launch of the Fee Center for Indigenous STBBI research unfolds, we always keep in mind the ancestors who are guiding us. Tina Keeper and Indigenous, my name is Tina Keeper, and I'm honored to be your MC today. And this is the official launch of the Fee Center for Indigenous STBBI research. In another time, we all know many of us would come together and we would have met in person, we would have celebrated, exchanged ideas, had meetings person to person, visited old friends, and learned from each other. Because we are in the time of COVID, we can't meet in person. Instead, we have taken this opportunity to reach out to our broader community and to virtually invite all of you into the feast. We have asked the Kikonong singers from Kettle and Stony Point First Nation to do the honor song. This song is dedicated to the community members who have passed on into the spirit world due to the STBBI, HIV and AIDS, and from an STBBI like hepatitis C. We also dedicate the honor song to the murdered and missing Indigenous women and their families and survivors. Finally, this honor song is for the feast team and the community as they begin the journey of this important work. Let's open our hearts and our minds, our spirits, as we hear this honor song. Yo, side. Kitchimigwech, thank you, Kicking On Singers, for that beautiful song. So, first things first, let's talk about the STBBI Research Center. What is an STBBI? It's a term that means sexually transmitted and blood-borne infections. It includes HIV and AIDS, syphilis, hepatitis C, chlamydia, and a whole range of other sexually transmitted and blood-borne illnesses and infections. As we launch the Feast Center, we celebrate the beautiful partnership between Indigenous communities, elders, Indigenous community organizations, scientists and scientific and community-based researchers, and Indigenous people that are living or affected by STBBI. This event also celebrates the weaving of Indigenous knowledge with the sciences, clinical, basic, and social epidemiological sciences that will positively impact the health of Indigenous peoples living or affected by STBBI. And this is an opportunity that we are so pleased that you're joining us today for the celebration as we launch the Feast Center for Indigenous STBBI Research. Many of you have helped when the Canadian Aboriginal AIDS Network researchers crisscrossed the country and spoke to you about refining the research response. That was critical. Your input helped shape the Feast Center. Today, we will hear from the people doing this groundbreaking research. We'll get an inside look at the Feast Center, and we will look at what the Feast Center is all about and what plans they have in store for the next 5 years. But we also have an all-star line. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. And it includes performances by award-winning multidisciplinary artists, including the Métis artist Mo Clark. She was CBC's 2020's Searchlight winner. Mohawk songstress Shawnee. Okay, I need to start again. I am so sorry, everybody. Okay, let's start again. We're going from the research into our all-star lineup. And please bear with me. Okay, we have an all-star lineup, including performances by award-winning multidisciplinary artists, Métis artist Mo Clark, CBC's 2020 Searchlight winner. We have Mohawk songstress Shawnee, Juno Award-winning Inuit-style throat-singing duo Pixic, and major recording artist Susan Aglukar, who has released 7 studio albums and has won 3 Juno Awards. You're all in for a real treat. First things first, though, we are here today to launch the Feast Center and to celebrate with all of you. The Feast Center for Indigenous STBBI Research is the culmination of over 20 years of research of community-based Indigenous HIV/AIDS and STBBI research. And it had its beginning at the Canadian Aboriginal AIDS Network. CAAN is the acronym, with 2 individuals that you are about to hear from in the upcoming Feast video, Randy Jackson and Renee Mashing. But this could not have been achieved without community. Guiding the process every step of the way, the Feast Center is national in scope and it includes representation from over 45 Indigenous and allied representations, scholars, community organizations, diverse community members, and traditional knowledge holders from across Canada. Grounding their work in Indigenous methodologies and knowledge. The Fee Center will be guided by the Council of Elders, and that Council of Elders will be inclusive of Inuit, Métis, and First Nation members and elders, and by a governing council that represent the 4 pillars of health research: epidemiology, clinical science, basic science, and social science. To make this a reality, the Fee Center is offering training opportunities for Indigenous and allied STBBI scholars across a range of disciplines and levels of expertise. They have created scholarships and grants to support early, mid, late, and community scholars who are committed to centering Indigenous knowledge and methods in order to create Indigenous solutions to Indigenous community identified needs. In addition to grants and scholarships, the Fee Center will be offering research, training opportunities, guidance in knowledge translation, and exchange opportunities to attend feast-led writing retreats and academic community conferences, and support for publishing. Here's more on the Fee Center for Indigenous STBBI research. Our next speaker.
Indigenous knowledge is important, Indigenous knowledge matters, and Indigenous knowledge is the solution to some of, or most of, what we experience as being problems in our lives. And perhaps if we better understood how all that worked, then we can design health services that respond to that.
Well, so there's a parallel journey in the story of what has become the Fee Center. So 11 years ago, the Canadian Institutes for Health Research introduced the community-based research center funding. And that was meant to be, this was a big grant, it was a 5-year project, and it was an opportunity to really center, thinking about what would be needed to catalyze, to really launch community-based research in the HIV and AIDS community.
Renee and I have worked together for about 20 years on a slew of different projects. When we were preparing for a feast, what we did was we reviewed everything that we had been involved in over the course of 20 years. And there were about 45 different projects that we had been involved, which is unusual. It's an unusually high number. We decided to critically understand how it was that we were doing research and how we could do it better. That's why we did this research review. And then we also went in and researched. We did a comprehensive review of the literature and summarized what we knew about STBIs and Indigenous people. And so it was 300 people who told us that feasts were important to them, and as a ceremony, as a way of bringing people together, as a way of collaborating, as a way of just being with one another. And they told us that that was important. And so all these things came together for Renee and I when we started talking about feast.
This platform we've created, the idea of being invited to a feast, it's really, it resonates. When we came to this analogy, this way of understanding research, we were working with a team of people who came from all different cultural backgrounds, and we all immediately had a way of understanding a feast. We come together for birthdays. We come together in ceremony. We come together to celebrate lives that have been lived, and we celebrate deaths. There was just such an immediately shared understanding of what it means to come together around this table.
And so we brought all of that together, and that's what inspired we had conversations with community partners around the development of Feast, and we settled on this idea of using Indigenous knowledge to inspire method and ways of understanding that knowledge. Yeah. Well, the Feast Center is a center grant that's offering training opportunities for students and scholars to use Indigenous knowledge to develop innovative methods to gather that data, and then also to use Indigenous knowledge to understand that data. In the last 4 or 5 years or so, scholars have started to turn their attention to the development of method and ways of analyzing that data through Indigenous knowledge systems. And so that's sort of where the Feast Center is situated at. That's what we want to do.
We're starting to create a center from the ground up, from our experience, but from there's no foundation yet. So some of that is really is evolving. But our vision is to be sure that we're able to put money behind people. And so we've envisioned a scholarship program that will engage undergraduate, master's, PhD, and postdocs. So looking at different stages of skill, different levels of training and opportunity that be related to the different points that you might be in a scholastic trajectory, and assigning. I think we've got 4 different scholarships at each of these different levels, meant to think about basic science, clinical science, epi and public health, and social science. So really to stretch ourselves and be mindful that we have these 4 pillars of health research that we want to address within the context of the Feast Center, and to invest in bringing students up in those different areas, introducing them to HIV research, and more broadly to sexually transmitted bloodborne infection research, and show them how diverse and incredible this field of research can be. And so we want to bring in students, people who are beginning their careers, and pull them in. We're also looking at training awards that would bring people in who are a little bit more established in their careers, so who can really help to do the work of the writing and the grant, bringing in the grant money and developing the bigger research projects, to be part of that dialogue about Indigenous ways of knowing and doing. And so again, there's an opportunity for mentorship, as well as for us to mentor in the context of HIV and STBBIs, and for experienced scholars to mentor in the context of being successful as a researcher.
Male, female, trans, Two-Spirit, plus Inuit, First Nations, and Métis, right, are all going to be represented on that Council of Elders. And I'm really looking forward to them helping us guide the center in a way that's respectful of and includes culture.
What an incredible journey that they have been on. Indigenous knowledge, community involvement, scientific collaboration, education, and research. I look forward to watching lives change and watching Feast being built from the ground up over the years to come. Projects like this rely on fruitful and respectful conversations between community knowledge, our knowledge keepers, the elders and epidemiologists, clinical scientists, basic scientists, and social scientists. It all comes together, and the interdisciplinary nature of the Feast Center's work is central to what it has done and what it will do, because it believes strongly in the value of this type of collaborative work. And they believe that this kind of collaboration can address the health needs and the desires of Indigenous communities in ways that are culturally grounded and respond to Indigenous realities. During this launch, you will get to hear from members of the feast team about why interdisciplinary work matters. Before we get to that, though, you are ready for our upcoming talent right now, and you want to hear her beautiful music. Multidisciplinary artist Mo Clark fuses together vocal improvisation with multilingual lyricism to create meaning that is rooted in personal legacy and ancestral memory. Her last solo album, Within, toured across North America. Mo has 6 albums of music, both solo and collaboratively, and multiple performance videos. Her music and voice have appeared in documentaries, films, and theater performances alike. Mo has featured around the world in the Lincoln Center, UBUD Writers and Readers Festival, and the Origins Festival in London. So please welcome Mo Clark.
Hi, my name is Mo, and I'm coming to you from the forest on Mount Royal in the unceded territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka people in Montreal. And I am going to sing a couple songs today. The first song that I want to sing for you to bless this feast with music and voice and language was written inspired by the earth, inspired by my ancestors, and the song is called Askiwi Pimachio Washtikewina. And it was created in collaboration with one of my elders, Joseph Natauhau, in Nehiawewin, which is Plains Cree, one of my ancestral languages. And the song translates to mean making a good living for oneself on the land while honoring the gifts of creation. And this was one of our treaty values when Treaty 7, Treaty 4, when the treaties were signed out west. So I want to wish this for you all: health in your homes and love in your hearts. And I hope you have a beautiful feast.
spider will go down or up, maybe through 8 nimble limbs scurry along, trace thin skin up the back of a hand, or perhaps through a cluster of stars. Kukumanakasis weaves a web in sky. 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 Like the crocheted constellations or beaded maps of our grandmothers, tough enough to carry the weight of knowing, she threads worry beads and spirit scenes, iterations of ancestral intuition pulled from gut deep, spun together as one thick silk, making beauty from sacrifice. Would Achakos Esqueo have chosen to come if she knew what was at stake? She peers through Bakonekisik down to Aski as indigo waters rise, knee be. Would she have chosen to leave sky had she known what was to become? If you had to choose between living a galactic existence among stars held together in Achaksipi, or an earthbound presence grounded by gravity's desire for more weight, which would you choose? Spider crawls up my left arm, takes refuge in the cradle of my collarbone, like Pakane Kisik, hole in the sky. Achakos Esqueo peers through the council of 7 glinting faces, some call Pleiades constellation. Achakos Esqueo dives down from sky, rides the spiral stairwell woven of luminescent thread, suspended from the belly of Kukumanakasis, giving her just enough leverage to descend. Kukumanakasis weaves a web in sky. Kukumanakasis weaves one condition. She has but one condition. If Achakosisqueo drops down to the turtle's back, she must leave all behind, and that single thread will remind her of her relations in sky. When Achakosisqueo arrives on Aski, Kukuminakas's thread gets cut like the umbilical cord at birth, to one day lead her back to sky when she dies. But she must leave all behind. She must leave all behind when she returns to her place of birth at Jaksipi. Origin markers woven long and thin. Some say spider's thread is stronger than steel, but is it stronger than sin? Then all are forgetting. Kukuminakasis weaves a web in sky. 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 Spider rappels down my earlobe, whispering as they go. All I need to hear. Will I remember Kiskissowin? Will I remember Kiskissowin? Will I remember Kiskissowin?
Hello, Quay. My name is Sean Hillier. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Health Policy and Management in the Faculty of Health at York University, where I serve as the special advisor to the Dean on Indigenous Resurgence and the co-chair of the Indigenous Council. I come to the Feast Center as a researcher in the social sciences. I'm originally from the southwest coast of Newfoundland, as a member of the Halapu First Nation. My mother is Mi'kmaq and my father is Irish. And so with that, I come to the Feast Center with a great deal of interest in understanding how traditionally we understand holistic health. And that is not holistic human health, but health more broadly. In the Western paradigm, we understand the concept of One Health. And this is how human health, animal health, and the environment all intersect. And I'm very interested in exploring our traditional understandings from a variety of perspectives and our different knowledges of how human health, animal health, and the environment all interconnect to create a healthy place. And then how that health can be translated to various issues such as infectious disease, including HIV, Hep C, and TB, and then how that intersects with issues like antimicrobial resistance. I'm very excited to be joining the Feast team, and I look forward to collaborating with them over the next 5 years, and certainly very excited to make the Feast Center a world leader in infectious disease research for Indigenous peoples. Thank you, Miigwech.
Hi, my name is Mona Lutfi, or Dr. Mona as many people call me. I identify as a settler to this land. I live and work in Toronto. Toronto is the traditional territory of the Wendat Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee, and is covered under Treaty 13 with Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. My parents immigrated here from Egypt 50 years ago, and I've benefited from many of the settlers' benefits like the education system, and I've enjoyed living on these beautiful lands. I am a team member of the Feast Center, and I'm honored to be one. I'm an infectious disease specialist, and I see patients with HIV, hepatitis C, hepatitis B, and sexually transmitted infections at my clinic in Toronto, as well as my clinics in Saskatchewan. And I think I bring the skills as an infectious disease specialist, as well as a clinical researcher to the Feast team. It's a real honor to be a member of the Feast team for so many reasons. Probably the biggest one is the interdisciplinary, community-based approach that the whole team and research undertakes. We're all equals as team members, part of the Feast team. I've learned so much from people like Elder Sheila, the principal investigators, Randy Jackson and Renee Mashing, community members like Doris Pelletier and Mike Parsons. They've taught me so much about Indigenous ways and Indigenous knowledge that it's really made my life and my work richer. And the Feast Center is aimed at addressing sexually transmitted and blood-borne infections amongst Indigenous communities. And as Elder Sheila says, we're all bringing our knowledge together to do that work. So the 4 areas of academic knowledge as well as Indigenous knowledge. And all together, we're really gonna make a difference.
Namaste, and good day to you all from Muswati in Alberta, Canada. Muswati is my home territory and means Moose Hills, or where the moose start their crossover. My spirit name is Wapastim, or White Horse in English, and my English name is Richard Jenkins. I'm the Director General for the Two Spirits in Motion Society and am a member of 2 of the Feast Center committees, the Community Fellowship Committee and the Elder Selection Committee. I have also been personally affected by HIV/AIDS, having lost a past partner to the illness in 1995. I myself was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS in 1992, but likely contracted it in the spring of 1990 on a trip to Toronto at that time. The Two Spirits in Motion Society is the new national nonprofit society with a mission aimed at helping create and maintain safe and supportive social environments for two-spirit and gender and sexually diverse populations in Canada. Our involvement with the Feast Center is a no-brainer, given that a significant population impacted by HIV/AIDS and other blood-borne pathogens is two-spirit men, gay, transgender, bisexual, pansexual, or gender fluid, or non-binary. Helping establish a robust Indigenous HIV/AIDS research center with new culturally appropriate and relevant research practices and targets definitely fits with our Two SIMS mission. Given that HIV/AIDS is still a significant health issue among two-spirit male populations, Two SIMS is keen on participating in the Feast Center's research activities to build relevant, helpful, and accessible strengths-based research. As we begin to move from deficit-based or illness-focused research to strength-based research practices, I look forward to being able to reframe how we work with and support our two-spirit populations in addressing HIV/AIDS and other blood-borne pathogens in our communities. We desperately need to undertake culturally relevant research on how to better prevent transmission and look at ways of identifying and celebrating how uninfected members of our Indigenous communities are staying that way today. Providing timely and relevant research findings to help support Indigenous communities in preventing transmission rates is key.
So much much of what the Feast Center is committed to boils down to community and collaboration. We are committed to the community input and to collaborating with Indigenous research organizations that support the centering of Indigenous knowledges and methods in order to respond to the realities of Indigenous peoples living with or affected with STBBI. The McMaster Indigenous Research Institute, or MIRI, and the Aboriginal HIV/AIDS Institutes, the Aboriginal HIV/AIDS Community-Based Research Center, the AHA Center, are our key partners whose collective work demonstrates a deep commitment to the scientific and community-based rigor that lies at the heart of the Feast Center. We are so happy to introduce to you both.
The AHA Center brings together voices from our team of First Nations, Inuit, Métis, and allied researchers, community members, people living with HIV, elders, and knowledge keepers, to congratulate our friends and colleagues at the Feast Center and to help celebrate your very special day. The AHA Center was established in 2012 as a virtual research collaborative whose mission it is to support culturally responsive, community-based HIV research that is conducted by and with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities across Canada. The AHA Center has a small but mighty staff of 2 full-time CBR managers and 1 half-time communications assistant. Together, and with the direction of Center co-directors Renee Mashing and Charlotte Lopi, our Governing Council, the National Aboriginal Research Advisory Committee, and our elders and knowledge keepers, we offer a wide array of tools, opportunities, and supports that contribute to HIV research in Indigenous communities across Canada. AHA Center staff facilitate capacity building workshops, mentor and support people living with HIV, and students to do HIV CBR. Our Community Engagement Fund provides financial support for 2 or more new research teams a year. Funds go towards development of research proposals that demonstrate community engagement and aim to generate positive outcomes for people living with HIV. Along with our many resources, the AHA Center also publishes the Journal of Indigenous HIV Research. This peer-reviewed annual publication is a great place to go to learn about past and current research on HIV in Indigenous communities, as well as new and emerging trends in Indigenous research, including methodologies, ways of knowing, and knowledge sharing. You can check out all of these resources and more on our website at www.ahacenter.ca. We join everyone online today in sending out a big welcome to our friends and colleagues at the Feast Center. We look forward to continuing the journey toward wellness for Indigenous communities together and in service to our community.
Ani, good morning. Bernice Downey, Niganakwe, Dijinigas. My name is Bernice Downey. I have also been given a name of Niganakwe, which means head woman. I'm Anishinaabe Kwe, Ojibwe Soto. My family comes from Lake St. Martin, Manitoba, and my community lived experience is an urban one from here in Hamilton, Ontario. I also have Celtic settler ancestral roots from County Down, Ireland. The McMaster Indigenous Research Institute, where I am currently an acting director, was established in 2016. The impetus for its establishment was a culmination of the aspirations of our Indigenous scholarly community over a number of years. In addition, in 2014, as a new doctoral graduate myself, I was unable to secure a faculty position, and I was offered a fellowship with the School of Graduate Studies. A strong focus of graduate level study, of course, is research. I was asked to contribute a paragraph or two regarding Indigenous research and why it was important to McMaster as part of a preparation for a broader review of McMaster's research strategy development. This led to the collaborative development of a successful Research Institute proposal. Our original vision was to support Indigenous research at McMaster with an emphasis on promoting community-centered research, respectful partnerships, Indigenous student capacity building, and knowledge sharing. This vision is conceptually linked to the work of many Indigenous researchers across the country and internationally who have stood up to say that mainstream research is not working for us as Indigenous peoples. We want to change that. The self-determining approaches of OCAP, those who sat at the table to reform research ethics, and those in communities who said, we want to engage in research that reflects our priorities. We are a smaller Indigenous scholarly community here at McMaster, but we are proud of the academic success and research being led by all of them. We have amazing graduate students whose aspirations of inquiry are innovative and reflect their Indigenous vision and passion. We are creating mentorship opportunities for 2 graduate students to foster their awareness and skills building in supporting community capacity and understanding research-related policy reform. Mary provides opportunities through part-time employment opportunities to gain experience with research-based initiatives. We are encouraging our undergraduate students by facilitating them to consider graduate school. Our 8-week Summer Research Scholar Program is in its 6th year of operation. Students are paired with McMaster faculty members to get hands-on experience in a research environment while receiving weekly training sessions as a cohort on various topics related to Indigenous health research. Other highlights include an Indigenous Policy Symposium hosted at McMaster in 2017, with many esteemed researchers from across the country participating, and the sold-out 2020 McMaster Indigenous Community Health and Research Conference, which Mary supported. Mary also supports our Indigenous faculty with pre- and post-research assistance with a number of successful research applications since 2017. Our participation in the FEAST project presents as a synergy with its vision, including promotion and support of various FEAST initiatives, participation on FEAST committees as requested, and providing administrative support at McMaster. But most importantly, to contribute to the work to reduce the incidence of STBBIs and improve the quality of life for Indigenous people living with HIV, HCV, and other STBBIs. The Indigenous-centric approach that is identified as part of this project is in keeping with Indigenous research reform and the vision of Mary. The amazing network of this team provides a broad outreach to both Indigenous researchers and community representatives, and its impact will be substantive in building capacity. Finally, we are aligned with the FEAST project vision of being engaged in strength-based research to reduce vulnerability through positive action, understanding sources of resilience, and exploring other facets of experiential knowing. Mary's team, in collaboration with the FEAST network, hope to contribute to the fostering of supporting Indigenous communities to realize their aspirations for health and for healthy and vibrant lives. Congratulations again to everyone. We look forward to the work ahead. Chimigwech.
My name is Chelsea Gable. I'm Métis from Rivers, Manitoba, and currently an associate professor in the Department of Health, Aging and Society and the Indigenous Studies program at McMaster University. I'm also one of the members of the core FEAST team. And I just want to say a huge congratulations to the entire team. This is an incredible accomplishment, and it's a center that is highly focused on community engagement and Indigenous ways of knowing. I can't wait to see what the next 5 years are going to bring. I'm so proud of everyone involved, and again, congratulations.
Kitchi Miigwech, Agasani. Thank you, Miri and the AHA Center. Your work is so inspirational and so important. Now, how about some more music? Billboard has named Shawnee as one of their artists you should know, while MTV puts her on their list of their top gender-bending artists. As a two-spirit person in music, Shawnee's songs like Mirror Me and Warrior Heart have become anthems of hope and strength. And they were performed at this past NYC's 50th Stonewall and the Prime Minister's Canada Day celebration. Wow. The singer-songwriter's powerful voice is dynamic, overwhelmingly captivating, all the while it holds a level of depth and undeniable soul. Please welcome Shawnee.
Shawnee, and I'm happy to be spending some time with you to share some music. It's not very often that you see me playing guitar, so this first song is just a reminder to not build up those walls too much. We have a way of doing that. Sort of as life goes on, we build up walls and we protect ourselves from harm or hurt or pain. And in that, you end up missing out on opportunities because you have your armor on and yourself surrounded by walls. So potentially you could miss out on the love and the good and the kind and the things that could come your way that will bring you positivity and joy because you're protecting yourself. So I know that I am very guilty of such. So, this song is called Building a Wall. It's just a reminder. Building a wall, I call it God. Save me from the war, take me away from it all. From this place to the ground, if I don't leave, I'll drown. Everyone for themselves, everyone for themselves. I can't do normal, my shapes won't fit, and I sabotage every chance I get. So I'm building a wall, building a wall, oh, building it up. Patching the holes, locking all these doors, working hard to close what's left is gone, and I surround myself with labels and these signs. It's just the way it goes, it's just the way it goes. I can't do normal, my shapes won't fade, and I sabotage every chance I get. So I'm building a wall, building a wall, oh, building it up. I'm building a wall, I'm building a wall, building it up. I'm building a wall, building a wall, building it up. Ooh, I'm building a wall, I'm building a wall, building it up. I'm building a wall, I'm building a wall, building it up. I'm building super exciting, and a big congrats to McMaster University. Really exciting, the opening of the Feast Center, Research Center, and I hope that one day I get to come check it out and learn what you guys are all about and see what you're up to. This next song is called This Is Me. I've got nothing to prove, so tired of washed up in years. I've never been so abused, oh, my life. Well, it's been so good until it's been anything but good, and I've been misunderstood. So take me, make me, break me, who I am. Oh, this I know is me. When I'm standing on the edge, ooh, and take me, make me, break me, who I am. Oh, yes, I know it's me. I'm standing on the edge. So what? I could stand alone, rather come undone, yeah, stand with wrong. Oh, now it's harder than before. I'm changing up the score, yeah, and it's me you can't ignore. So take me, make me, break me, who I am. Oh, this I know is me. When I'm standing on the edge, ooh, and take me, make me, break me, who I am.
My name is Kathy Worthington, and I'm a professor at the School of Public Health and Social Policy at the University of Victoria. I would like to acknowledge that the university and the home in which I'm sitting are in the traditional territories of the Lekwungen, Saanich, and Esquimalt peoples. I'm a member of the Feast Governing Council. I'm also on the leadership team of one of the sister centres of Feast, the REACH Centre, and I've been part of the leadership team for the Canadian HIV Trials Network. I'm also part of the leadership team for the Drum and Sash STBBI Implementation Science Team Grant. I have a particular interest in community-based research and capacity building and bridging for HIV and STBBI research. I've been working in partnership with the Canadian Aboriginal AIDS Network and with members of the Feast Centre team for close to 20 years on many studies that span social, health services, and determinants of health research for Indigenous peoples impacted by HIV and STBBI. And these studies have used many different study approaches: survey methods, qualitative approaches, mixed methods, and intervention and evaluation research approaches. The work has always been done in partnership with community, and over time, Indigenous communities have taken the leadership role, with both Indigenous and non-Indigenous academic researchers acting as supporters and acting in allyship. Interdisciplinarity is woven into the way we work. Many disciplines, perspectives, and community ideas are needed to work on complicated issues that have their roots in structures of colonization. One of the benefits of using Indigenous approaches and worldviews is that these perspectives are fundamentally holistic and multi-level, and so interdisciplinary approaches integrate well into these frameworks. I'm excited to see where the work of the Feast Centre takes us. Thanks.
Greetings from Winnipeg. My name is Keith Folk, and I'm a professor at the University of Manitoba, and I'm also a member of the Governing Council of Feast, and I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Feast on its launch. I think it's an excellent program, and I hope everyone enjoys the events of the day. So I am a basic science researcher, which means I'm a lab guy. My research involves understanding the immune system and how it interacts with infections and how different infectious diseases affect the immune system. I largely do HIV work, but also some influenza and a little bit of COVID more recently. Our research is really dependent on a relationship with the community. And I think that's where Indigenous health research is so strong and brings in such value to a multidisciplinary research team. I've been doing studies in Nairobi, Kenya, and also in downtown Winnipeg, and in each case the community members are core members of the team. They really help to shape the proposals. We find out what priorities are in the community, and then how as researchers we can design studies to help address those priorities. Research takes many different players in it, and I'm very proud to be a member of research that involves working with Indigenous communities and with addressing priorities in Indigenous health. So enjoy the day, and thank you very much.
Bonjour, Skobanesi Kwadishnikaz. My English name is Charlotte Pelche, and I'm part of the project as a co-researcher. I'm in the Faculty of Education at the University of Alberta. I come from Minjikaning First Nation in Ontario. My family, we are members of the Loon Clan, and I wanted to talk about my work with the Feast Centre and how I focus a lot on interdisciplinary work in education. So looking at Indigenous language and knowledge, working closely with speakers of the language and wisdom keepers from the community. And our elders, our wisdom keepers, I regard them as having attained a very high level of knowledge and lifelong education. So they're they're more educated than a PhD person would be. The work that I do really focuses on finding out what's underneath what we see and react to on a daily basis in our communities. Where are those teachers, the grandmothers and the grandfathers, the stories that inform us of how to live in a good and relational way? And how can we reclaim those? How can we bring them back into the awareness of everyone so that people can have a strong sense of identity? People can appreciate the beauty in our languages, in our cultures, in our community and family systems. The information, the knowledge, the guidance is still there for us. And a lot of times it requires us to go into ceremony so that we can reconnect with our ancestors and our helpers so that we can be receptive to those windows of opportunity that come our way on a daily basis, and we can be receptive and receive those teachings and go to those places that we're invited to go to so that we can learn and reclaim. I develop Indigenous research methods that bring me alongside of the people at the community. And these grassroots relationships mean that I'm able to collaborate with community and to find out what are the questions that are being asked by the people. What research is relevant to the time that we're in the specific community where I'm in relationship with. And from there, we can gather the information that we need to inform programs and other projects that want to connect with STBBI research. And so I see that with this Feast Center, there's so much opportunity for interdisciplinary response and to honor Indigenous ways of seeing, knowing, being, doing, and relating. And I find with these at the center, our research is going to be culturally relevant, culturally and linguistically appropriate to the specific context where we're helping. So I'm really excited about the launch of our Feast project, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. Miigwech.
With a style perpetually galvanized by darkness and haunting northern beauty, sisters Tiffany Eilick and Inukshuk McKay came together with roots in Nunavut and created an Inuit style throat singing duo, Gisk. They perform improvisational looping live, creating a dynamic audience experience that changes with every show. The sisters incorporate that haunting, ethereal feel into their album recordings and continue to perform both nationally and internationally.
Hello, my name is Milkigana Gigiamis Genum, which in English means strong spirit man. I got named because physically I'm not that strong, living with HIV and AIDS, diabetes, a heart condition, arthritis. And emotionally, I'm not very strong. I'm very easy to hurt. Intellectually, I've been growing as I've been attending school, Dalhousie University and the social work program. Spiritually is where I have my strength. And that's what puts me on a level playing field with everybody else. Because we were all gifted differently, but equally. So we're all gifted the same amount, just in different ways. So the interdisciplinary way in which I work is working across tradition and academia. Research within ceremony is a decolonizing approach, or maybe more, an anti-colonial approach, or maybe even more, an indigenous approach to doing research. The way research was done within indigenous communities before colonization, before the colonizers arrived in North America. So I think it's very important to get back to those old ways, but not necessarily back to the old ways, but back to the old ways of doing things within this new society we live in, because tradition is fluid. And because tradition is fluid, we were able to get back to an extreme decolonized approach while still working within the society that we're living within. And I think that's a very important way of doing research. It's also a very important way of working with elders. You put elders in a classroom, quite often they would be triggered if they're residential school survivors. Or if they're not residential school survivors, maybe they're triggered by an extreme colonized approach to trying to help them learn something. But once you put them in a ceremony, they're able to learn within a comfortable environment for themselves, and to be able to take that information in within ceremony because it's a comfortable way for them to be. I think tradition and ceremony is a way we need to think about working in Indigenous ways moving forward. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Green and I am a professor in the School of Social Work at McMaster University. I'm part of the core team of the Feast Center, and I'm just really excited to be a part of this incredibly talented and innovative interdisciplinary team of health researchers. I'm specifically excited about opportunities to collaborate and connect with a whole range of folks, everyone from working on the ground in the front lines to folks doing public health, basic science. I'm a social scientist, epidemiologists. Really excited about the potential of working with students and community members who are starting off in this exciting field, and again, very happy to be a part of that whole incredible mentorship process. Looking forward to meeting with you all and being with you in person sometime, hopefully in the not too distant future.
Ani, bonjour. Em Coendag zit Indigenous. Wawash Geshen do dem. Hello, everyone. My name is Doris Pelche, and I'm really happy to be here today with you all as we launch the Feast Center for Indigenous STBBI Research. In 2000, I was diagnosed with HIV at the AIDS stage, and it was around that time that I very quickly jumped into activism, and I found myself at the Canadian Aboriginal AIDS Network attending national conferences. And this was when I became a new consumer of research that was being conducted around our issues, around HIV and AIDS. And in those early days, much of the research was qualitative research. And I really like that because it is about story. It is about data collection that involves the stories of people that are part of any given research project back in those days. And because we come from an oral culture, I really felt that qualitative research was a good fit to the way we pass on knowledge within our Indigenous communities and how we've done that traditionally. And I've seen a whole shift along the way in the more than a decade of research that I've not only been a consumer of, but I've also been a knowledge user on research projects, and I've also coordinated research studies now. And so I've got quite a number of experience in doing research. And I'm very excited with the Feast Center launch today because you know all those more than a decade, probably 2 decades of research that's been done. We've really upped the Indigenous knowledge into the research approaches that we've utilized. And I look forward to what the Feast Center is going to be doing in terms of weaving in Indigenous knowledge with the 4 sciences: epidemiology, basic science, clinical science, and like we've always done with social science. I really look forward to the journey ahead. I also really like the fact that the Feast Center is investing into the next generation of Indigenous scholars and also investing into Indigenous knowledge with a Council of Elders that's currently in the works within the Feast Center. So I look forward to the journey of the Feast Center. And I am the community engagement coordinator with Feast, so I look forward to seeing some of you down the road. Miigwech.
Santi Smith, an internationally recognized artist, dancer, and choreographer, is McMaster University's new chancellor. She is the first Indigenous person to hold this position. Santi Smith is from the Mohawk Nation, Turtle Clan, from 6 Nations of the Grand River. She is a 2-time McMaster graduate, holding degrees in physical education and psychological, I'm so sorry, and psychology, along with a Master's of Arts in Dance from York University. Please welcome Santi Smith, Chancellor of McMaster University.
Santi Smith Daglanyakwa. On behalf of McMaster University and as Chancellor, congratulations to the Feast Center for Indigenous STBBI Research. What a wonderful opportunity to bring together 4 pillars of health research: epidemiology, clinical science, basic science, and social science, all privileging Indigenous ways of being and knowing through positive action and understanding. I look forward to hearing more about the mentorships and the scholarships and the research. Congratulations. All the best on your upcoming work. Nyawe.
Susan Aglukark is an Inuit musician whose blend of Inuit folk music traditions with country and pop songwriting has made her a major recording star in Canada. Overall, she has released 7 studio albums and has won 3 Juno Awards. She received the Order of Canada in 2005, and in 2016, she was awarded the Governor General's Lifetime Artistic Achievement Award. Susan is dedicated to improving the lives of Inuit youth, women, and culture, and is the founder and chair of the Arctic Rose Foundation.
Susan Glukak, and I am very happy to be here with you today. And congratulations to everyone at the Feast Center and for the work you are going to do in STBBI research. We as Indigenous people are living in some pretty incredible times, and we have a responsibility as Indigenous to share that information. I thank you very much for the opportunity to help you with that. Matnaluavik. This first song that I want to do is a song called Walk With Me, one of our new songs. And this song challenges all of us Canadians, Indigenous and non, to correct the narrative, to find the truth, and to pick a side.
Hear me, don't listen to defer, believe me. Now the stories that you've heard, I want to hear, I want to feel again, again. When you see me, do you see me through your eyes or the lenses of the people in disguise? 'Cause they can't see the things I've seen. Some things can't be unseen. No matter where the road may lead, a path will always be revealed. A little bit of you and a little bit of me in the stories that we weave. If you would walk with me, there's a story hidden in your eyes, in your story. You have to choose a side. Come stand beneath the witness tree. We'll write the things we've seen. No matter where the road may lead, a path will always be revealed. A little bit of you and a little bit of me in the stories that we weave. If you would walk with me, my bones, my blood, my memories, 10,000 years of dreams. These are things they can't erase, the things they'll never see. The paths become our guiding light because you walk with me. No matter where the road may lead, a path will always be revealed. A little bit of you and a little bit of me in the stories that we weave. If you would walk with me, walk with me, walk with me.
The second song I'm going to do for you today is a song that set me on this incredible path of healing. I'm an accidental artist. I found my healing through my songwriting and arts expression. And again, as Indigenous, we have a great opportunity to utilize all the arts and forms of arts we practice. And I'm just very fortunate that I stumbled into mine. This one's for all of you at the Research Center. Koyan Namik. Thank you once again for having me be part of the launch of your research, and congratulations again to the Research Center, and the best of luck for all the work you're about to do.
Nakamek, Susan Aglukart, for those beautiful songs that you have shared with all of us. As we begin to wrap up today's launch, Feast wants to thank all of you who have helped pull together this launch. The Indigenous way has always been for us to work collaboratively, and this launch would not have been possible without a team of people.
So we're at the end of this amazing launch, and naturally, I think we have a few people we'd like to thank. And the first up, of course, is Sheila Nyman for opening the launch with a prayer. But also, Sheila's been with us for many years, even before Feast, grounding us in culture and the research that we do. So thank you so much, Chimagwech, Sheila. And secondly, I want to honor my home fire and the people in the video who participated here. And first up here is Mike Henry for offering the teaching on the spirit plate and signaling that the feast has begun. I'd also like to thank members of the drum group Kikanong, and particularly Jason Henry, Adam Henry, Tosh Walker, Nolan Smoke, and Cynthia Henry for the songs.
Thank you. So we'd also like to thank our amazing speakers, people who contributed their videos and their time in order to be able to make this launch like really special and really highlight what we at Feast are trying to do. So those people include Michael Parsons, Kathy Worthington, Keith Folk, Sarah Green, Doris Pelletier, Charla Pelletier, Mona Lutfi, Sean Hillier, Richard Jenkins, and Vivian Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. And I get to thank the performers. Thank you to Susan Aglukark for that amazing set that she did. Thank you so much. You've been kind of around HIV and AIDS off and on over the years, and we really appreciate you performing today. And I want to thank Pisk, the sister duo, for that amazing throat singing compilation. And Shawnee, amazing. And I love that you were playing acoustic guitar. And Mo Clark, wow, that song was amazing. I especially liked when you said that song not only came from your teacher, but from the earth. And last but not least, I want to give a special thanks to my good friend, Tina Keeper, for emceeing this event. Thank you so much, Tina. You were amazing, all of you. Miigwech.
Yeah, absolutely so fantastic. So thank you to the Feast Center team members for your collaboration, insight, and ongoing contributions. To our wonderful research assistants, Bridget Marston and Aaron Lee, and especially thank you to Will Gooding, our National Director, and Doris Pelche, a Community Engagement Coordinator, for your incredible efforts to prepare this launch and help us to begin our feast.
Thank you, Renee. We'd also really like to thank all of the amazing production people who we worked with to put this launch together. The 50/50 Performing Arts Collective, led by Candace Scott Moore, Cynthia Lickers-Sage, Ian Miracle, Anna Moffat, and Lindsay Sarrazin. Thank you all so much. We'd also like to thank the Yes We Plan team, who really helped to bring this all together and to make this really interactive and bring this to life in a very different way. And those people are Nick Sant and Marie Meret. Thank you both.
Excellent.
And that's all, folks. I just want to, in closing, acknowledge the community that was on this feast journey when feast was just an idea. So many of you are watching today, and I just want to hold up my hands to you. Thank you to everyone for tuning in with us. Kchimigwech. Bye-bye.
And one last special thank you. From all of us on the Feast team, we would like to offer a very special thank you to Anna Tyers and Delia Coates from Compassion Creative for their help with our branding, our logos, and with developing the really outstanding poster for the Feast Center launch. You guys have been amazing. You've been patient, collaborative, and have developed such like outstanding work. So thank you so much.
I hope you all had a great time learning what the Fee Center for Indigenous STBBI research is all about and listening to the wonderful performances. I know that I have. I am deeply honored to have been your MC. Don't forget to register for the mailing list to stay up to date on the latest developments of what the Fee Center is up to. And now it is time to finish this celebration. Just so you know, Mike Henry has put out the feast plate for our ancestors. As another part of our traditions, we always remember the spirit of our ancestors and those who have guided us and continue to be with us. And we do that also with song. And Kikonong singers will finish with a traveling song. On behalf of the team at the Fee Center for the Indigenous STBBI research, I would like you to know that we thank you for joining us today as we launch this amazing research project. Thanks to all involved who have made this happen. And until we meet again, my friends, stay safe and stay full. Agose.
Okay, Chimigwech for joining us on this momentous occasion as we kick off this the Feast Center. But now I've got to go and offer this spirit plate out. Chimigwech, Bamapi.
Yeah.